Greetings, everybody. Greetings. I hope that all is well with you as usual. Blessings and peace to you and your family. Definitely, I'm bringing you greetings from the Most Western John G. Jones Grand Lodge of California, Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. I'm yours truly. So today we're going to talk about the Freemasons, the open enemy. And you may say the Freemasons, the open enemy. Well, because some of us have forgotten in regards to what Freemasonry is really all about. See, as a Mason, we're supposed to be light bringers, bearers of light. See, when you are dealing with light, you're dealing with something that has no boundaries. Light has no boundaries. Light can penetrate anything, just like a laser. A laser penetrates anything. It is a light. So Masons are supposed to be light bringers, light bearers. But for some odd reason or another, we have lost our light. It seems like darkness has drowned out our light. So when we enter a room in today's society, it just seems like our light is just a little dim, and most of us don't want people to know that we are Masons or Eastern Stars. See, when you look into the heavens, into the sky, you see stars. You see something that brings forth light. And the Eastern Star is that example, and the Masons are supposed to be light bearers. So where is that light now? When we are dealing with those who are open enemies, let me share this with you. See, Jubilee, Jubilo, and Jubilee were open enemies. You see, they worked in the temple of Hiram-Abiff and King Solomon and Hiram-Atari. They worked in the temple, all right? They were the workers in the temples along with 12 others. They did that job, right? They was workers. They were the open enemy to Freemasonry at that time. They were the enemies. Let me tell you why. Because as you know the story, as Hiram tried to escape out the east, tried to escape out the west and out the south gate, and as he tried to run out these various gates in the east gate, he met with danger out of these three gates. You see, Jubilee, Jubilo, and Jubileum was his open enemy. And today we have an open enemy. And we yet fall into the same trap over and over again. So as I get into this particular lecture this night, I want to welcome everybody aboard and thank you for the condolences on behalf of my family, on the loss of my sister. I want to say thank you for those who gave personal calls and for your care. I want to say thank you to the brothers of various jurisdictions, be it out of New York, be it out of Texas, be it out of Florida, the Carolinas, the Virginias. Just want to say thank you. Thank you for your calls and letting me know that, it's going to be all right. And I appreciate your calls and your condolences. So as we get into tonight's lecture about dealing with your open enemy, and we're going to talk about how that is in regards to Freemason. I just gave you a little taste in the opening. So for those of you who are coming on tonight, this is going to be a very interesting topic, and I won't hold you long. I would only hold you long enough to get you to think for a minute, because we're dealing with how does the scripture say we work? Well, we fight not against principalities, but we fight against those wickedness and people in high places. We don't fight against flesh and blood per se, but we're going to take a look at this thing as far as the open enemy is concerned, because a lot of us have fallen asleep. We think just because somebody's out protesting with you, you think they're on your side. You think just because people are out protesting you, Black Lives Matter, yeah. You see, let me share this with you. I said this just the other day. I said, when you're dealing with an open enemy and you know who they are, you see, your open enemy sometimes will give you a band-aid after he done whoop your ass. He will give you a band-aid. He will even help you heal up. But he'll also come around and pull a scalp off just to show you how painful it is. See, your open enemy is very, very skillful in what they do. They'll stand right beside you and chant Black Lives Matter. They'll stand right beside you and say, yeah, I got you, brother. Whatever you need, I got you. Your open enemy can... You seen the movie Sleeping with the Enemy? Some of us are like have that battered wife syndrome to where the husband hits us so much, so often, till it becomes, this is regular. It's okay. It is not okay, people. It's not okay. So we're going to talk about how do you use your working tools in regards to dealing with your open enemy. Because apparently some of us hadn't yet gotten how to deal with your open enemy as they stand right next to you, shouting Black Lives Matter. As they protest, as they agitate, as they go in and set buildings afire and you get blamed for it. I'm just saying, you're going to have to learn how to deal with your open enemy. Oh, Light Traveler. Oh, my boy. What's going on, brother? I appreciate you. Greetings and blessings to you and your family. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're going to have to learn how to deal with our open enemy. We are. You see, sometimes your open enemy can put his arms around you or put her arms around you, make you feel that it's okay, and later be right in the back. So you're going to have to learn how to deal with Jubilee, Jubilo, and Jubilee. So you know those three unruly individuals that took Hiram Abiff and slaughtered him. Took him on a Wesley's course. They buried him twice. The first time they put him in the rubbish. Then after they took him out of the rubbish, they took him on a high hill. Buried him in a shadow grave and placed a wreath at the head of the grave to identify that they come back again, they'd be able to locate that grave. And then, in a distance, as those who went in search of Jubilee and Jubilon heard in a distance, oh, it was I. Oh, it was I. No, I gave the final blow. Your open enemy. You need to start checking out who's around you. You need to begin to stay focused, brothers. Look, here is now the perfect time for us who are Masons to really bring forth some light and some knowledge to those who don't know. Now is that perfect time for us to really show people what Masonry and the Eastern Stars and the Rose of the Seven Seals or the Golden Circle, what these organizations and groups are really all about. It's time for us to get off the sideline and talk about we don't get involved with stuff like that. We have to be involved. This deals with us, our community. And when I say our community, I'm talking about those who look like us. Okay? Sometimes you have to take a stand when the line is drawn in the sand. You have to say, hey, this is where I'm at right now. You see, I've seen quite a few of the messages as far as it was written out, condemning the brutality of the police. I've seen some of the things that various Grand Lodges have said. Grand Lodge of Washington, D.C., they both, Mainstream and Prince Hall, put out a letter saying how they condone this and, this, and they both did that. But here's what I'm looking at. And you could take this or let it alone. How is that possible for the Grand Master of PHA Washington, D.C. to coordinate with the Grand Master, Mainstream, Washington, D.C., and forget your other brothers, the Modern Frees, the International, the PHOs, the John G. Joneses, whatever group you want to put yourself in? How is it that you can coordinate with him and put out a joint letter that deals with people that look like us? How can you do that to your own people? Yeah, you may say, well, Brother Hawkins, you sound a little upset. It's not that I'm upset at all. I'm just removing my emotions out of that situation and looking at it for face value and dealing with my open enemy. And you may say, well, why do you call people like that your open enemy, Brother Hawkins? Why would you say such a thing? Because everything that Prince Hall has scrapped for and to become and to be, everything that you put your hard work into, brothers, sisters, everything that you have done to show that you're independent from anybody else, you gave it all up to accept somebody's word that you was already who you claim to be. So yeah, on that part, I'm a little like, damn, really? Why could you not? Daddy. Yes, I'll be there in just a minute. Okay. Sign it for me and give them a tip. Why could you just not take that for what it was worth and say, look, I'm gonna take this leaf of brotherly love, relief, and truth, and I'm going to show my brothers who look like me and say, come to the table. Let's talk about what's happening to us in our community, because that's where our membership comes from. I've said it before. The people in my lodges look like me, 98% of them. Okay? So I'm dealing with my community. And when I say my community, I'm talking about people who look like me. It doesn't matter where you live. And we have to understand that we have to start dealing and working with each other. And understand among us, we have a Jubilee, a Jubilo, and a Jubilee. We have those three ruffians behind us. Not only that, we have maybe 12 or 15 others that want to work with them. But we have to be mindful and focused enough to understand who we are dealing with. And take these working tools that we have as Freemasonry and begin to construct a real temple. And when I say a real temple, I'm talking about a real man, a real woman, somebody who's fierce enough to stand up. See, most of us are too coward to say the real things that's on your mind. You're just too coward to say them. You won't stand up for nothing because you're a Mason. Well, we don't deal in politicals and politics and things like that. Masonry is in everything. And when I say masonry is in everything, I'm simply saying this: that individuals who are Masons and who are Eastern Stars work throughout the entire government. Masons who are Eastern Stars and Masons and Eastern Stars work throughout, whether it be in the laundromats, whether it be at the service station, whether it be in the grocery stores or at the funeral. We are in all facets of life. We work in various positions. The ideal is for us to take these things that we call working tools, symbolism, and construct a real man. Because some of us are too moist to be real men. Some of the women are too hard to be real women. See, we have to understand we're part of something bigger than what we see before us. When we begin to see that, it's going to really open our eyes. If our grandmasters were to take their rightful place in leadership, not just in the Grand Lodge, but even in your community. Take your rightful place. Don't play second fiddle to nobody. You don't need anybody to prove who you are. I'm talking to all the Masons. All of you. You need nobody to prove who you are. What we need to do is share our knowledge, our wisdom. Okay? Because there are people out there who are trying to destroy the very thing we say we love. Check out these various videos they got. Masons, George, brother, oh my God. The brother that just got killed. George Floyd. He was a Mason. What? And the guy who had his knee on his neck, he's what you call an action actor. Okay? I'm like, where are these people getting this stuff from? Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or none of that, but please, for God's sakes, if you're going to talk about Masons and Masonry, why don't you have a real Mason on your show? Someone who's gone through the process to become a Mason. And the first thing you're going to say, well, he don't really know. He's not high enough. Truly, let's have an understanding. There is a difference between being a black Mason and a mainstream Mason. You can say whatever you want to say. There is a difference. There's truly a difference. There's a distinctly difference. Okay? Now, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride all you want to, but I'm telling you there is a difference. Oh, you want to know how is there a difference, Brother Hawkins? What are you talking about? How is there a difference? Look, most of mainstream Grand Lodges, most of their membership, most of them have people in prominent positions. There are people in prominent walks of life, most of them. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm waiting on somebody to tell me that's not true, Brother Hawkins. That is a distinct fact, and that is what separates them from anybody else. Now, granted, in my jurisdiction, we have a few prominent people. Okay. Prince Hall may have prominent people. There may be even some prominent people in Modern Free. But when we're talking about people that are distinctly, that have power, that have where they can go and make some real things pop, that's a fact. It is what it is, and it's okay. What I'm clearly saying is that we who are Masons, we who call ourselves light bearers and bringers, Eastern Stars, the Rose of the Seven Seals, the Golden Circle, you know, your Knights of Templars, your Knights of Malta, your Knights of Kadash, you know, when I'm talking to you who's supposed to possess this knowledge of raising a dead man to a living perpendicular, I'm talking to you. When are you going to start taking your working tools and really applying them to help raise up these people that are out here protesting? When I say these people, look, I'm specifically talking about those youths, the youth who have, man, the youth who's not afraid to stand up for justice and righteousness. I'm talking about those youths. So you see, those youth, they need to be in our lodges and our chapters. That's who we need. We need that type of leadership that's not afraid. They're not afraid to use the light and the knowledge and the wisdom that Masonry possesses to make it work for them and those who are around them. They're not afraid to use it for their mind, their body, and their soul. Okay? They're not a mind. They don't mind that. They don't mind taking that which we claim to help make a better man, to help make a good man better, and using it precisely for that. So this is where we're at. Most of us don't know how to deal with our open enemy because he's put us to sleep. And you think everything is okay. And everything is not okay. And I keep telling you, everything is not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay that everything that we get, everything we ask for as a people, we got to beg, borrow, and steal. That's not okay. It's not okay that one of us goes before a judge and we look over at the jury and none of them look like us, our peers. It's not okay. We have to get involved. We can no longer afford to sit on the sideline and just be. We have to get involved. And this is what I like about my Grand Master. He says this all the time. Get involved. Stay involved. Be informed. And when you have this tangible information, assimilate the information. If you're sitting on a school board and you know something was about to happen, you need to assimilate the information. Don't hog it. When you are on the if you are a person, what we call it here in San Diego, what we oversight committee. If you are on the oversight committee for the police department, you need to be able to share that information with people in your community. This is why it's important. You have to get involved. You're going to have to take your working tools, either one of these, and begin to really apply it and get involved. See, a lot of y'all think Jesus was this guy that, you know, he was real humble and, you know, and no, Jesus that I know, that I read about, was no punk. All right, no punk at all. But y'all have made him out to be a punk, for one thing. Jesus never sat idly by and watched justice just happen. Things that just take place and never got involved. I don't know what Jesus you've been reading about. Muhammad never sat idly by and just watched. Got involved. See, some of you took your obligation on this, and some of you took your obligation on this. But what does your obligation mean if you don't apply any of this in your daily journey? What does it mean to be right, to be raised from a dead liver to a living perpendicular? Some of you still perpendicular. I just want you to understand that this is not the time to be asleep. Masons and Eastern Stars, it is the time to be involved, to be actively participating in your lane in what's taking place today. Is that time. See, just like the double-headed eagle. The double-headed eagle, its wing stretches as far as east unto the west. Okay? Its head looks both ways to protect itself, right? The tail of the double-headed eagle, the tail dangles in the Gulf of Mexico with a sword in its hand, meaning that it will fight for justice. That's what the sword means in the double-headed eagle's paw and its grips. All right? And below the sign is Dies Meus Jinx, my God, my right. Come on, guys. See, we got to start taking the working tools when you're in the Royal Arc degree, the shovel, the pickaxe, and the crow. You got to start taking those working tools and begin to move around. You know, you use those working tools to raise things up, to pick things out. You know, the shovel to remove the gravel. The pickaxe, you want to really, if you got that hard dirt, you can really chop that up with that pickaxe. You got to start taking these working tools. You got to start taking the city maul and the chisel to really get down with some work, mentally and spiritually. But since so many of us don't even know who our open enemy is, we get caught up in the net of acceptance. It's all right now. Black Lives Matter. It's good now. That's a good chant. It's a good chant, but the policies have to change. See, most people are saying, we're going to march to Washington. I heard the Reverend Al Sharpton wanted to march to Washington. Time out for marching. We need the policies that the officers abide by to be changed. So when you change the policy, you change the whole game. This is what I know personally because I work with police officers. You know, I talk with them all the time. And when I say I work with them, I interact with them. All the time. Policy. They always state policies. The policy says this, the policy says that. The only way to do something is to change the policy. You change the policy, you change the game. This is why it's important for you, sisters of the order, you, brothers of the craft, to be involved with community. Wherever you live. I don't care if it's upscale, low scale, or middle scale. Wherever you live, you need to be involved, actively participating. And this is what messes with me sometimes. The mere fact that most of us are just happy to be Masons and have no clue that you're a part of something bigger and greater than yourself. I'm back. So what I'm saying is this. We're going to have to come together and really begin to assimilate ourselves as one. Not as one as far as I'm taking over this, I'm taking it. No. If grandmasters really want to see an organization function properly as it should, if they really wanted to, they could. They really could. But most Prince Hall grandmasters don't want it. You don't. Even if brothers from various jurisdictions desire to fellowship with you, you don't want the fellowship. You don't. This is why it's important for those who want that fellowship to align themselves together. It is important that Modern Free and International, the PHOs and the John G. Jones Grant, it is important that you work together. I'm asking you, since you are light bearers, since you have knowledge and wisdom, I'm asking you to take that, place that, and begin to work together. That's what I'm asking you to do. Now if the brothers from the PHA want to come along and their grandmasters don't mind, and that's fine. But I'm calling specifically as my brother Raymond Edwards about 3 weeks ago was trying to explain about the Grand Masters Alliance and what we plan to do and work together. See, this is just not for Grand Masters. This thing is bigger than that. This thing is across all barriers, okay? It's across all jurisdictions because light has no barriers. You're supposed to be barriers of light. Light has no barriers. So why do you put barriers on yourself? I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't go here. I wish somebody would tell me that. It is very important at this moment, this time and place, that we galvanize ourselves together. We begin to cross the barriers that have held us back. We begin to take the working tools and apply them to the very thing we say we love and we enjoy being part of. It seems to me at times, not all of us, but some of us, we are quicker to go to a party and throw a chicken dinner than anything else. I'm asking you, brothers of the craft and sisters of the order, reach across all lanes and begin to unify and begin to work together in your communities to better uplift those who are there. It is time out for calling yourself Masons and don't act or carry yourselves like Masons. It is time out for being just a star. I'm an Eastern Star. What does that mean if you have no light behind your star? It's time for greatness. It's time to understand your open enemy. Jubilee, Jubiloom, and Jubilee. That's where we're at today. It's time for us to begin to respect each other and understand the arts and sciences and how they apply to Freemasonry. And when you can't understand where the fellowcraft degree opens up everything. See, most of you believe that it's all good. That's what you see. See, once you have mastered the inner apprentice and fellowcraft degree, then next is the Master's Mason degree. That's where you get all of the emblems that you're going to need, of the symbolism of the works that you're going to have to apply, not only to your life, because you're going to have to apply is what I would say the essence of what Freemasonry is really all about. You are that light bringer. Eastern Stars, Master Masons, Rose of the Seven Seals, Golden Circle. You are that light bringer. But how are you going to bring light when you're putting it under the bed? How are you going to bring light when you're not the example of what light should look like? Or when I'm out trying to do right, you cutting me up. How is that? That we're going to have to understand who we are as a people. And we're knowing that we are in the same boat. Our membership comes from the same community. We cannot afford to sit idly by and not be the leaders in the community. And when I say leaders in the community, I'm not saying get out in your regalia and scream to the top of the world, look at me. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that as a Mason, we are taught in this jurisdiction to be involved. Find your lane. That's what we are taught here. I can't speak for other jurisdictions. Get in your lane and ride it all the way out. Take your working tools and use them. Don't do that to yourself no more. Be there. People are being hung. Some are being, it's just crazy. I was just reading about the young lady. I think she's 19 or 20. She was a leader in the Black Lives Matter movement. Found her hung. 19. See, we needed her in the Eastern Star. We did. She's a leader. She's a bona fide leader. She should be among us. Brothers who are bona fide leaders in your community and you know who they are, they should be among you. We have the knowledge. We have the capability of really directing that energy. But if you're not in the right lodge, so look, I didn't come here to hold you up for a very long time tonight. I just wanted to share with you that we're going to have to start dealing with our open enemy. We're going to have to really start taking a hard look and understanding that your open enemy can put a band-aid on your wound and tell you you're going to be all right and come back later and take it right off because you don't have the balls enough to stand up and say enough is enough. With that being said, I hope as always you've gotten something out of this. I'm very passionate about being an activist in the community and being involved in my community. And I hope you are too. To be that beacon of light in your community. Be the example that you claim of who you are. So as I close tonight, I want to let you know, from me to you, I am responsible. Not only for me, but for those who are around me. Those who are in my circle. And when I say I'm responsible, I'm clearly saying I'm the example. I'm setting the example of how a Mason should be. Simple as that. If you're running with me and you call yourself my friend, friends, there has to be some standards. I can't have you being my friend and cutting somebody else up. I can't have it. Because that's not how I operate. You could be my associate, social friend. Need you to think for a moment. So look, as I log off tonight, I want you to be blessed. Continue to keep all of your friends in prayer. Remain focused and steadfast. When you go places, please tell somebody where you're going. Okay? Tell them where you're going. I know some of us say I'm grown, I ain't got to tell nobody where I'm going. It is not even that. People are being killed out here in these streets. People are being kidnapped out here in these streets. Let's keep an eye on each other. I'm out. Whatever you do, always keep your light on. Stay out the bushes. Peace.